So here's the Dalai Lama. You heard about what he did? He asked some kid to suck his tongue. You want to see it? So first he gives give me a kiss on the mouth. He gives the kid a kiss on the mouth. Everybody laughs. He's laughing. They're all laughing. Everybody laughs. Give me the head. And then
suck my tongue.
He just says it, suck my tongue. And everybody laugh. Ah.
Boy. Guys got the best quotes.
And everybody just laughs. So
I like that the kid didn't do it because he genuinely was baffled by it.
Yeah, he just went. Yeah, he didn't suck his tongue.
He didn't give him any tongue.
No, it seems weird that the Dalai Lama would keep this inside until he was 87 years old and start doing this shit, right? Because he hasn't done
George Bush wait until he was 90 to start randomly grabbing asses?
Yes, you're right.
This is George H.W. Bush years.
So maybe that's what he's doing. By the way, I'm not a big fan of like I don't want to say I'm not a big fan of the Dalai Lama, but well, here Michael Parenti will tell you.
This idea that he's a humble spiritual man with just a robe and a bowl and a prayer bead isn't really what the Dalai Lama is all about. I'm Michael Parenti, a political writer, author, and noted after-dinner raconteur. He headed a social system that was exploitative, terribly unequal, and terribly brutal.
Tibet was Shangri-La. That is, if you were the Dalai Lama. No wonder he wants it back. He had a palace and a pile of servants. The rest of the Tibetans lived in huts and ate roast barley meal and yak butter tea.
You had a privileged priest class living in utter luxury and opulence, and you had a mass of serfs living in utter misery.
And if you broke the law, then torture and mutilation, including eye gouging, the pulling out of tongues, and even disemboweling were reportedly common punishments. The Dalai Lama sounds more like Mo Howard than a saint. Why is he? As this State Department internal memo reveals, the Dalai Lama at one time took $180,000 a year from the CIA for his living expenses. And $1.5 million a year from the spy agency to finance Tibetan guerrilla operations against the Chinese, which included running a covert guerrilla training center in Colorado.
So I don't cotton to that kind of.
That'd be pretty cool, being a killer trained by the Dalai Lama.
By the Dalai Lama.
Don't piss him off; he'll pull your eyes out, dude.
So I've heard that before, that he was in bed with the CIA and that he's. You're given money to go train. What kind of a Buddhist?
Yeah, well, a bunch of Americans don't know jack shit about Buddhism because it's much like Catholicism. It's like all the isms. It's all like a bunch of war and exploitation, just like every other kind of thing around the world. It's not. I always thought
Buddhism was better than Western religions and stuff.
Yeah, it's a common like Western.
But here they are. I mean, I guess just because it's all based on meditation and stuff like that.
I'm sure the teaching, if people were Christian, you wouldn't have these wars, I'm sure the basic teaching is not bad, I guess.
Right.
I don't know. Isn't he the Pope of it?
I've read books about Buddhism. I've read, Buddhism Made Simple. I read that book.
Is he like the Pope?
Yeah.
Of all the
I think he is. He's the Dalai Lama.
I know he. No, I didn't know he was the guy. How long has he been in charge?
I don't know. But the people over at CNN really took it hard. Watch this.
Medica, anybody that's read the Book of Joy with Archbishop Desmond Tutu knows that the Dalai Lama can be a joker. But I think there's no surprise that
he's a joker. That was him joking. That's what she says. No, but what? This woman's going to really take it hard. I do think he was joking. I do think that's what he was doing. He was just trying to be stupid. And
did you hear what he did to Richard Gere?
Jeez. Watch this woman. She looks like she's getting ready to take it hard, and she's gonna watch this.
Caused outrage, consternation all across the internet and beyond.
and severe backlash for the 14th Dalai Lama as well, Julia. People have called it outrageous. They've called it inappropriate across social media after that clip emerged Sunday evening local time here in India. I want to take you through the sequence of events, and I want to make it very clear that it's extremely disturbing for our viewers to actually watch that interaction between the minor boy and the Dalai Lama in northern India. Now, this incident dates back to February this year, and what we can see in the video is the boy going up to the Dalai Lama and asking for a hug. The Dalai Lama then calls him on stage, invites him on stage, and also asks him to give him a kiss on the cheek along with that hug, and the boy obliges. Moments later, you see the Dalai Lama then asking him to kiss him on his mouth, and then he brings in the boy's chin, and he kisses the boy on the mouth. Now, this is disturbing enough. And then seconds later, the Dalai Lama asks the boy to actually go ahead and also suck his tongue. This is extremely disturbing.
Boy, it was just hard for her to say that. You
Yeah.
see, and she kept putting words in front of it before she said it. She didn't want to say it.
They had different social distancing rules over
Boy.
there. Jonah Hill had to 3D model his fake kiss in his Netflix movie. Hey, Dalai Lama's here sucking tongues.
Second tongue.
for people across social media and otherwise. It's led to a lot of backlash, like I mentioned, because of which 6 weeks after this incident, and mind you, not before, the Dalai Lama's office has now come out with a statement where they've said that the Dalai Lama regrets the incident. And I'm going to read a bit of that press statement as well. It says a video clip has been circulating that shows a recent meeting when a young boy asked His Holiness the Dalai Lama if he could give him a hug. His Holiness wishes to apologize to the boy and his family as well as his many friends across the world for the hurt his words may have caused. Interesting to note that they're talking about the words and how it may have hurt people, the words and not the actions that you see in that video. That's been the only reaction we've got yet. We did put across a lot of questions to the Dalai Lama's office, but they only responded with the press statement that they have put out, which then continues to read, His Holiness often teases people he meets in an innocent and playful way, even in public and before cameras.
Just a goof.
He regrets the incident. Clearly, for a lot of people across social media, this is more than just teasing. It has upset huge sections of people on social media, on Twitter, that have called it, like I said, absolutely disappointing, absolutely disturbing, and absolutely inappropriate behavior by the Tibetan spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama.
I like how she speaks. She doesn't say Dalai Lama. She said Dalai Lama. Dalai.
She's saying like his first name is
Delay,
not the.
Right. Is Dalai Lama.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Delay, what are you doing?
And what was the word she just said right now? That was funny. She didn't say Tibetan, she said Tibetan. Yeah. So anyway, she's obviously hurt.
Well, you never teased a boy with your tongue.
You can't. Wow, people are upset. Like that. That's the report. People are upset on social media.
I mean,
across the internet. Anyway, I think it's going to blow over. But I'm not a big fan of having like gurus. Even though you know, Ram Dass talks about his guru and what a great guy he was. Blah blah blah. I'm sure if I met Carl Jung, I would probably guru it up with him. But anyway.
But that's just a very strange thing to. That's like an old senile guy. Have you ever seen him interviewed before? He really is like Curly or something. The way he's real nyuk nyuk nyuk.
Yeah, he is. He's always like that. You're right.
I remember they asked about him. They're going to say everybody should get in their own country.
Remember that?
Yeah.
I did a video. I think the video title was "The Dalai Lama Sounds Like Trump on Immigrants."
Yeah, right.
He's like, people should stay in their own country. That's what he said. That's what Trump says. They're not sending their best, Kurt. They're not sending their best.
I told you I thought that's how he transfers the mantle of Dalai Lama to the next Lama.
With
you have to suck his tongue. Yeah,
you have to suck his tongue, and then you become the Lama.
You choose between a ball, a mirror, and a brush or whatever. Then you suck his tongue. Then you absorb the 15th. It's like becoming Doctor Who in a way.
Yeah. Go to jimmydore.com to see my new stand-up special, COVID Lies Are Funny. For only $10, you get to become a premium member, too. And come see us do our live shows. We're going to be doing stand-up comedy in Milwaukee, Nashville, Honolulu, Los Angeles, Northampton, Massachusetts, Syracuse, New York, Cohoes, New York, Hartford, Connecticut, Baltimore, Maryland, and more. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for all those tickets.